Hello, everyone.
Yay! Here, let's scooch you over this way.
Yeah, I'll sit like this since we're slammed up. It's Tigre.
And Lola and
Tanya. Hello.
From
Hi,
the
everyone.
Wild Messengers team. We are super stoked today. Hey, Cameron. To do a bunch of really cool things, counting down now 24 hours until we launch on Kickstarter. Been having all kinds of crazy dreams about this project. Some are total nightmares because it's really scary to like put your soul project out in the world. And even though we know it's going to be an outrageous success, it doesn't mean that it's easy to like push publish on all of this like heart work. So it's super exciting and super just a lot of aliveness and at least my energy field right now. So the agenda for today's Facebook Live is going to be a revelation of who the 2 secret wild cards are going to be to round out the 80 cards of our tarot deck. Tanya is going to give some secrets to trusting your intuitive voice. Cam says, push the button. Tigre has a very funny and poignant story about when a wild messenger literally bites you in the face and how to interpret that message. And we're going to give you a sneak peek at our Kickstarter page so you can know exactly how to pre-order tomorrow. Get in that early bird price. And then I'm going to do a live reading for somebody who sticks with us till the end of this video. So stick with us, keep commenting, and when that time comes, I will pick somebody from the audience and just ask you a quick question and then pull a card for you. So let's go ahead and reveal what our 2 bonus cards, wild cards are. Tanya, do you want to like
do it?
You're going to do it?
No, Tanya's
doing it.
I can do it.
She's
I'm
doing it.
I'm not the artist making them.
So
We're going to mute ourselves.
I have been experimenting on my own with painting metallic watercolor paints on black paper. And this is like a sample colors I did from these paints that I got. And then I did some paintings from a different project I'm doing, but this is a scorpion. So this is kind of like the look and the effect of like a cosmic animal, but black with metallic. And we thought it would be really great to have some wild cards to our deck. And they're going to be 2, the 2 that we've decided to go with are the feathered serpent, which is kind of like a dragon, snake, almost Quetzalcoatl feel to it. And the other one is a griffin. We're all like very, very connected to the cat energy. And so bringing in a mythical cat griffin seemed really good for us.
Yes! We're
That's
so
awesome.
excited. So these cards will stand out for a couple reasons. One is that they're mythical creatures versus the on-the-ground everyday animals that we may or may not see in our everyday lives. And 2, they will be on black backgrounds with bright paint standing off of it. So when those animals show up in your reading, it's going to be really apparent. And those will be also found in our guidebook. So you'll receive instructions and insight into what they mean when they show up in your reading. So excited.
I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to laying them out and figuring out how we're going to make them be as awesome as possible in the deck.
Yes.
So
So a big
thank you, Tanya.
yes.
You're welcome.
So
I haven't painted them yet. I just ordered more black paper, so that's coming in the mail. So while the Kickstarter is running, I'll be working on those paintings and I'll be posting updates to all the Kickstarter people, and so you'll get to see it in progress.
That's so exciting. Thank you so much. A huge
Jessica.
part of this work is trusting your intuition. I mean, even when you're pulling cards, to trust what it is that's being reflected back to you through those messages is pretty much the most important part of doing any of this intuitive work. And so Tanya has developed this amazingly strong relationship with her intuition, especially in the last, 5 years or so. And I would really love to hear her tips for all of us on how to increase that trusted bond with your inner voice so that you can really hear the messages that want to make their way to you.
Yeah. Well, something that can be really challenging in our current society about trusting our intuition is we come from a place, just how everything is structured in our school systems and our conditioning, where we're always looking for proof of something, or outside proof, or for someone to tell us that this is how it is, or a rule book, or facts. And intuition doesn't work like that, and it's an inner feeling, or an inner knowing, or an inner experience, and you can't prove or get validation from the outside about what it is that you're experiencing. So it's really about owning your own experience, and it takes a lot of practice. And I kind of think of it as an infant coming into the world, and they don't, like, everything's very new, and they're learning how to walk, and they're learning sounds and taste and how to chew and use their mouth, and they make mistakes along the way, and they grow into it. And that's kind of how my relationship is with my intuition, is when I get an intuitive feeling, I like to stay very curious about it and ask questions. And I feel like it can be dangerous if it goes on either side. Let me explain, like, the two sides that can come in when you get, like, an intuitive feeling. It can either immediately go to, oh no, this is wrong, this is crazy, this isn't right, like, there's something wrong with me, like, this isn't real. And then there's the other unhealthy extreme of an intuitive feeling that comes to you, where you feel like, oh, yep, that's right, I know exactly what's going on, I know everything, everybody else is wrong, I have this intuitive feeling. But really, the sweet spot is in the middle of those, say, two things, of keeping that innocence, curious mind and feeling and wonder about it, of realizing that you only know part of the information of what actually is going on, and you're seeing it from a certain perspective and a certain angle, and to know, first of all, and trust that it is a real experience that you're actually having, and to own that part, and then to step into it and take action from it. And through taking action is the only way that you're going to know, like, develop experience with it. Like, oh, yes, this is what it means, or this is not what it means, through my action of it, not staying frozen, and then not going too far over the edge to be like, I always know what everything means, because you don't. And, like, zooming out helps a lot. That's how I experience it, of keeping an objective perspective, to zoom really far out, to make sure, checking in, like, when you get an intuitive feeling, is it my emotions that are really charged, and that's why I feel this way, or it's, triggering a wound, or I have, like, an ego thing coming up. But if you can zoom out and become more emotionally, like, more of an observer role of what's happening, like, oh, now I see, I'm not being, like, controlled by all this stuff. And the animals have helped me a lot with being able to see all of this and feel all of this, because when an animal messenger comes to me in my meditations, it was easier for me because it wasn't quote me. Of course it is me and part of me, but it was a little bit outside of me, so it made it easier for me to interact with it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Makes total sense.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got some people going, yeah on Facebook. So people are definitely resonating with what you say. And I think it's the same teachings that I've gotten from my own guides and from my human teachers too. My teacher, Jane, who's my current teacher, says validate your experience, validate your intuition. And then I love what you say, Tanya, about getting curious about it, not taking it for granted, not thinking you know everything, and also not thinking you know nothing, and just really taking that kind of middle road and getting to know over time what those indicators are.
Taking it all in as information. And I also want to mention that it can be confusing when people are like, oh yes, I have an intuitive feeling, an intuitive hit. Well, what does that really mean? And I think it's very different for everybody, and there's not like one right way or common way for intuition. There's more ways that I don't even know that exist, but there's so many ways. Like, it could be a visual, it could be a sensation in your body, it could be an energetic feeling, it could be just an intuitive, like, knowing, like you just know.
Jessica says, I've definitely had to move away from Googling my intuition, like validating it from Google.
What does this say?
And I also want to mention someone who's helped me a lot to trust my experience is an author called Stephen Buhner. And he's written a lot of amazing books on plant communication and their intelligence. And he has some really excellent free YouTube videos that he speaks about this on. But he talks about it being like plants specifically having these extrasensorial perceptions, and they communicate in this imaginary realm that we aren't used to, but we actually have the ability, because we're all connected to it, we can tap into it too, and we have our own extra sensory perceptions, and we can open these gates and close them, and knowing that the 5 main senses that we can prove are not the only way to gain information.
Mm-mm. No, we're taking in signals from every cell of our body, from the energy fields around us, from the heart centers that we come across in plants and animals and people. We don't understand. There's so much complexity and so much input coming on. And like Cameron said, who's watching, taking it all in sometimes can be anxiety inducing or even like panicky feeling, because there is so much to receive. And what I wanted to offer back for that as a tool is that a lot of times the panic and anxiety set in when we start to judge or fear the input and label it as bad or too much. And if we just allow that observer to come in and objectivity to come in, we can just feel the flow of energy. We don't have to do something with every bit of information we receive. And we can, as Tanya's talking about, narrow our sensory gates to help create a safe space for ourselves as we engage with the world. We can say, this is too much for my system right now, or I don't want to receive that insight, or I don't want to talk to ghosts today. Whatever it is that's showing up, you can actually say no. And one of the ways that you can do that through choices you make is bringing your focus in very, very narrow. So using those ordinary senses that you have to focus on something very present, very immediate in your own body, such as your own heartbeat or your breathing, and narrowing that focus so that that almost fills your entire field of awareness is one of the ways you can say no to that extra input coming in. So again, like the age-old timeless advice of deep breathing and listening to your heartbeat is still really good advice when it comes to overwhelming sensory input and tapping back in. It's one of the techniques that Stephen Buhner talks about as well, when you want to shut down those gates and not close them off completely, but just create that safe space for yourself. Thanks for sharing that resource, Tanya.
Thanks,
I love
Tanya.
Everything you said.
You're welcome.
So good. So,
And
Tigre.
we can vouch for Stephen Herod Buhner.
Oh, yeah. He's
immensely.
amazing.
He's actually on the podcast for the Wild Playground one. And he's a great person to reach out to and talk to.
Yeah, he's an incredible person.
And tarot is an excellent tool for exercising the intuition and to play with it and not have it be such a serious, am I on the right path of life? Every moment. It's a really wonderful tool for exercising the intuition.
Yes, what do I need to know?
And by the way,
we got lost.
What did you just say?
It
just cut out.
Did it cut out? So, by the way, we're always on the right path of our life. So
yeah, we can't really do this wrong. We're always learning, and if we stay open, we'll do that even better and better over time. So Tigre had a very funny experience this weekend with an animal messenger, and they don't just show up in our tarot readings, right? They're all around us all the time, and animals are constantly engaging with us. So Tigre, you want to just talk about that story?
I'd love to share my pain and experience. So we're at a pumpkin patch. We are with family friends who have a daughter, our daughter's age, near there, and they're all running around playing, being princesses, and we're having a picnic in this pumpkin patch, and an alligator lizard scurries on through the picnic, and I'm like, ooh, I want to catch the lizard. So I go catch him between some hay bales. Typical cat. Get very excited about that. Catch him or her. I'm like, oh wow, I caught it. Great. And it's biting the skin on my finger and trying to gnaw at it. Like, that's pretty sharp. And then
you were like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was actually cute. It was. And so I'm holding it and I'm looking at it, and I really love their eyes and their faces. They look like tiny dinosaurs because they are dinosaurs. And I was picking up, and I was just going to nuzzle him or her with my nose, and it decided to actually take a bite out of my nose and sink its tiny, tiny razor-sharp teeth into my nose, which I then pulled on, which just dug them in further because they all go this way. So I had an awesome little kiss from a lizard.
And then what happened?
And then I put the lizard down, and it decided to crawl up my pants. So the lizard was now scurrying up my pants. Thankfully, I was wearing slightly tighter pants. Otherwise, it would have gone straight up because I didn't want to imagine if it did that to this nose, what it would do to the middle nose. So I quickly was like, Hudson, give me your flingy thing.
He has a little...
So he had a rubber bungee cord.
Yeah.
So I took the bungee cord, wrapped around my leg like a tourniquet, and
Keep
just
this lizard
tightened
out.
it out until I could shake my pants out and shimmy out the lizard. So
how do you know if an animal is speaking to you? Things like that.
things like that happen.
It didn't go up my pants. It didn't bite me in the face. I wasn't drawn to pick it up. And it's very funny because always these animals, if you have an experience like this, you can go to the guidebook and see, is there something in this message that I'm not getting just from an immediate intuitive connection? And I didn't show this to Tigre.
Lola wants me to read the chameleon.
I want him to read the chameleon medicine and messages
which is
from
8
our
of fire.
book. Because chameleon's the closest to the lizard energy.
Or 8 of wands for everyone who's
and
of
he
traditional
hasn't
tarot.
read this yet.
Mind you, I've always had, I think we all have it, that ability as humans being extremely adaptable to so many different places, social settings. Whether or not you feel like you are adaptable, you do put on an adaptability mask. And so chameleon has both this positive and negative connotation in our world and our society. And at times I've noticed that as a Libra, I can be chameleon-ish for my own survival. So let's see how much of this is true. 8 of fire chameleon. You have nothing to lose. Having achieved a level of mastery and success with your creative pursuits, you can celebrate the strength and courage it has taken you to get this far. You can relax on a rock in the sun, knowing that even if you are attacked because you've achieved a certain level of visibility, you can easily release from the grasp of a predator or climb up their pant leg. One of the main inhibitors of success is a fear that others will copy your work or threaten your reputation with public criticism. I'm actually experiencing this right now.
That's why I think this is very appropriate.
Chameleon Spirit is here to help you recognize that, although these threats are real, you have the resources to bounce back from any such attack. Simply let it go and move on, as a lizard would do when it releases its tail and makes a quick escape. You have endless creative resources. Your best protection is your own excellence. Can you trust yourself to always be creative in responding to whatever the current conditions reveal? Can you be fearless in the face of criticism, knowing that you're putting forward your best efforts and that you can't possibly please everyone? You can't. Are you continuing to study under teachers who inspire and challenge you? Now is not the time to rest on your laurels, which can be the first instinct when a certain level of success is achieved. Keep growing, studying, and developing your skills. You will need them where you're going. Chameleon speaks. I don't know their accent. I can relax knowing that I have what it takes to handle whatever life throws my way, whether it is food to eat or a predator to outwit. But I do not take my station in life for granted. I continue to better myself and hone my skills. Complacency serves no one. I'm here to encourage you to keep pushing your edge to excellence, to help you respond swiftly and skillfully if or when you are attacked. These downsides of success hurt. You are not weak if you get your feelings hurt and are taken aback by a negative experience. Your pain is a sign of your humanity. Do your best not to build walls around yourself or shut down for long. Likewise, don't get too attached to external adoration. Instead, continue forward with your best work and let your best work evolve. Stay centered and focused. Trust yourself. Invocation. I will not allow any fears of attack hold me back from the success I can rightfully claim. My success is not a barrier to anyone else's. The more brightly I shine, the more I can trust myself to roll with all that life offers, both good and bad. I call upon the spirit of lizard to help me build resilience and self-trust.
So is that applicable to what's going on in your life or what?
That is so. Yes. Thanks, lizard.
And it's not even related to this project, but I am finding
this project is excellent. This is like my balm. I'm really happy to have this project to come home to and be like, what other drama?
No, it's quite incredible. I have many one-on-one clients right now, and the animals, of course, are speaking through our sessions as well. And, they're asking me about messengers that are coming through, and I'll reference to what I've written so far in the guidebook, which was written, it could have been months ago at this point, and it's like it was written for that person in that moment, and it's exactly, like, to the word, the things that we're already talking about. I mean, it's creepy. I was telling Tigre this morning, it is creepy how dead on the things that come through are, and that's that self-trust that Tanya was talking about. If I went and doubted or rethought or overthought or thought I know better than what's coming through, then it wouldn't be like that. And I gotta trust it, and it's hard, but it's continuing to demonstrate to me that it's going where it needs to go, and it's got the right words for the right people at the right time. Super exciting.
I'm stoked.
So you want to show us, Tigre, how people can find the pre-order button?
How many people who are watching were actually on our newsletter and saw the preview themselves?
Yeah, curious.
I'm curious. Because only like 6 people clicked the link, and 2 of those were probably me clicking the link.
We put it at the very bottom of the email. It's a sneaky thing.
Yeah, so you can go back to your email and preview it there, but we're just going to jump over to our desktop and show you what it looked like.
Jessica!
If I could shrink it. Thanks, you 2 awesome animals. So, as you can see, this is our preview for the Kickstarter. Any suggestions are welcome. I may or may not implement them.
We're going live
because we're going live in 24 hours. I still have to make a video. Yeah. So, this is what we're going for. We're doing 30 days. We're going to be aiming for $11,222, and that gets us kind of our way there. What we're really looking forward is that this can help make people believe that we're actually true to our word, that we're going to make this happen, which we are, because we're definitely going to do it, and so that we can make our stretch goal or the above beyond funding be so much better. So please share with your friends and everyone around.
And frankly, we set that goal low because
that goal is low.
We're wanting to get that early success. So the more early birds that order this first week until those early bird offers expire or sell out, that's going to help boost us on Kickstarter for visibility. It's going to help us get our 30 or 40% that we need to really guarantee funding in that first week. So the more people can participate and share in these first few days is really important to our campaign success. And Jessica says it looks great.
Why wouldn't you want
because
to?
Oh yeah. So anyway, we're trying to make this super easy for you. You basically have very few options for purchasing products through the Kickstarter. So you just have an option of buying the deck alone or the deck with a book. And then you've got some other even more exciting options like deck, book, and a reading or an original painting. There's some options there for our higher end backing.
Just a quick question too for everyone who's here live. If I assume people would be buying the deck with the book, but should we offer the book on its own too? Do we want? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it belongs with the deck and they go together, but we're open to hearing that if that's an option.
So you can see that these are all the minor arcana. For those who aren't super versed in tarot, there's the major arcana, which is the first section up here, which is all these animals. And we chose royal because it just feels like royalty. And it's
royal purple,
the royal purple. Sorry, royal purple. And that's all these animals. And there's 22 cards total, which is fun because that's a sacred number for us, and we're using sacred numbers
everywhere
throughout this entire campaign. Even the final price for the deck alone is going to be $44.44.
Yes.
And the minor arcana then is the cups, staff, or
you've got
wands,
cups, wands, swords and pentacles. But in our deck, of course, those are the elements of earth, air, water, and fire.
So that's that section. And then we have the guidebook, which a lovely, awesome Jason is helping us do the layout for. So here's a work in progress shot of that. The cover, there's going to be a dust jacket too, but we haven't had time to design that or figure out what it's going to be, but it'll probably basically match what the box design looks like. And we're looking at doing a rose gold. I was just talking to our printers and getting samples of gold foil, and that's a stretch goal, is being able to do that.
So if we meet our highest stretch goal, there's going to be magic foil, iridescence, glowy, shimmery awesomeness on everything with this deck.
And if we hit our highest stretch goal, we're also putting everyone who backs a thank you note and their name in the book.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Tanya?
No, I'm just excited. I'm making happy noises over here.
So I'm noticing silly little things I got to readjust with some graphics for some of my stamps because it's blocking out the numbers. So nice thing is I can edit that before it goes live.
That's right.
So shipping will be part of it. afterwards. So you'll do your bid and you'll put your shipping afterwards.
Yeah, when you close your cart after the Kickstarter funds, then shipping will be added, and you can also add on fun things like sticker packs or temporary tattoos, additional decks, additional copies of the guidebook.
Gracias, Mama Maria.
Give people options.
Our Peruvian grandmother is here live with us from Peru, so everyone can say hi to her. Her name is
Hola,
Maria. She's awesome, and she's actually a huge part of my growth as a person spiritually. Came from her and Rodolfo, Brother Salinas. A couple of cool things in the rewards is that you can basically get a free reading with Lola or get the deck free or the book free.
It's basically like getting the deck and book for free and getting a private
if you do
reading with me.
the number 5, the deck book box, and a 3-card reading.
Yeah.
So there's only 22 of those available, so you may want to check that out. And Lola does an amazing job, as well as Tanya, for their intuitive readings. And so Tanya also has hers with a custom original painting with Tanya, and that's the bottom one, and there's only 11 spots for that. So you'll get your own custom cosmic animal painting in addition to her insights that she gets from that work.
Yeah, I'm going to do an animal reading with whoever decides they want to purchase that reward, and then whatever intuitive animal comes through, I will paint it with whatever colors and inspiration that happens during the reading. It'll be a surprise animal.
Perfect.
So exciting.
And then there's also a reward where you can choose to get one of the original paintings from the actual deck. I only have a few of those original paintings left, and you could be one of the lucky ones who has an original painting from the deck.
Yeah, and she's going to pick that out for you intuitively based on your energy.
Yeah, so that's number 6. So that's a sweet steal because that's an amazing value for that.
We have two of her original paintings,
arts.
And they're incredible.
Do you still have Tigre, or is it gone?
You know what? I actually do still have Tigre. I'm surprised, but I do.
I know. I keep being shocked. I just need to plunk down the change, so you can earmark it for after the thing and say no one else gets that.
Or you can just do the Kickstarter.
I'll do the Kickstarter. Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do the Kickstarter. I'll fund my own Kickstarter.
Exactly.
It's so smart.
Why not?
Do that.
So, something really cool is that 2.22% of our profits are going to go to this amazing nonprofit organization called the Wildlife Conservation Network. They are a very, very highly rated charity that actually gives all their proceeds directly to programs and on-the-ground work rather than just having it be staff-heavy and, only a small portion of their income actually going to the work that they're doing. So they're amazing wildlife conservationists, and they support entrepreneurs trying to create ways for humans and animals to successfully cohabitate and thrive together in our ecosystem, which is really important. We can't just do it ourselves, and we certainly can't thrive at the expense of so many other beings. So they're trying to find creative ways for all of us to come together, and I thought that's really appropriate. All three of us are entrepreneurs and obviously animal lovers and want to see our entire ecosystem thrive. So
we all agreed that we wanted to support the animals since we're basically deriving a lot of inspiration from them and connection with them and appreciating their role in this world. So we felt that we would love to support someone. So I found wildnet.org on Charity Navigator, and they'll be getting some cash from whatever we get for the profits on this experience. And then we got a couple stretch goals. We kept it simple. The first one is if we hit 22,222, that will be putting a holographic print edge around each of the cards. So instead of it just being the standard edge, they're going to be super shiny and continue with the shiny vibe that we've been having fun.
So yeah, it'll be shimmery, shiny, and I said it brings the inner illumination of the cards to the surface. So it's not that it costs us that much more to produce those holographic edges, but we really want all these features to be included for everybody. So the more people that we can get to contribute, then we can really create even more beautiful visual awesomeness for doing the justice that's deserved to these cards and the messages they contain.
And the next jump is doing a holographic foil stamp deboss treatment, basically just kind of adding a little more zhuzh to the
sexiness
packaging
to the
and doing some really fun stuff on that. And then the last one is that the guidebook will be upgraded with the holographic foil stamp as well with the guidebook cover, and we're also popping in everyone's backer name with a thank you note into the book as well. So we really love to just be able to do that. We want to reach that goal. And hopefully we can smash that goal even further, because then we can produce that many more books for that many more people around the world.
Yeah, and we know, y'all, we know we're going to do this. I mean, there's no doubt in our minds that this is going to fun, and we're also we're reaching for some scary internal goals, so please share with your friends, share with your communities. We're probably going to be reaching out individually to a whole bunch of our individual contacts and saying, hey, would you please buy a deck or share it with your friends? So you're going to be hearing from us a lot in the next 30 days. And you might even get a little overwhelmed with like, oh my God, wild messengers. Like, yeah, calm down a little bit. But we can't, because when you have a big dream and you have worked for 2 years very hard to make this dream come to life, the last thing that's going to do right by that is to hide and to not advocate for its creation as hardest and most loudly that you can. So we're going to do that, and we're so proud of what we've created, all three of us together, that we'll scream it from the mountaintops. Just like a wild mountain goat in heat.
Oh, boy. I've been next to
They're
one of
loud.
those. They're loud. Definitely obnoxious. We will let you know, Cameron, and I'll be producing once I get some of the video stuff done. I want to get some assets out there that you could potentially share and link back to the Kickstarter. So be on the lookout for those things. Basically, just anything we produce on social media, just share that is probably the best thing.
Yeah, share it, and also why. Why do you resonate with us? Part of what I know everybody's going to be supporting is not just that you're getting this awesome deck. I mean, that's like so amazing, and it's such an invaluable tool, and it's gorgeous. But I also know that you're doing this partially to support us as humans because you love us and you care about us. So sharing some of that love and some of the reasons why this particular project resonates can really help plant that seed in others. And really, this is about making dreams come true. Like, what this actually boils down to is a vote for people creating beautiful art and making changes in their own lives for the betterment of this entire family of humans, and so like when you say
bringing value to other people.
Exactly. Like, this is so incredible what's coming through for this as a tool. So you get that, and you're also upholding small artists and small business owners and people who have put a lot into creating something really useful for the world.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Thanks.
So we peeked at the Kickstarter.
Yes.
Everyone has a link in your email if you are on the mailing list from dispatch number 6.
Yeah. So if you want to take a look at this yourself and, prime your mouse clicking action for where you're going to want to go.
So I know that the Teresa Reed, the tarot lady that we had on for the Monday live call, is definitely going to be stopping. Like, as soon as she gets to her hotel, she's jumping on there because she wants to be one of those first 77 locking in the deck and the book.
Yes, and therefore getting her name in the book guaranteed.
Yeah, there's a guaranteed name in your book when you get an early bird, so.
The tab's already open, Cameron says. Rock on. So I would love to see a little emoticon in the comments if you are currently here with us live. And
yeah, let's do this. Everyone who's here live, comment in the comments with, I want to be included in this little guesswork of who's going to get the
live
free reading.
Live on the air right now. I'm going to start shuffling cards.
You shuffle. I'm going to watch the comment section.
I'm going to go off screen for a second.
So I see Jessica is for sure wanting to be included. I'll throw Phoenix. Melissa. Scott.
Denise. Melissa, I've been thinking about
Cameron.
you.
I see Athena. Cool. I see Denise.
I love hearing all the clicks as I'm shuffling.
But is having tech issues? Oh. Well, I'll just put his name in there in case it's meant to be for him. I want to be included. Thanks, Adriana. You get to give hugs to Lola in a couple days, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. So I've got Jessica, Phoenix, Melissa Scott, Cameron, Denise, Jason, Adriana, Amanda.
Okay.
Scissors.
We're going to make this official and do it total random drawing.
So in the next 24 hours, we're going to be producing our little video that goes with the Kickstarter as well.
Yes.
And I know there's going to be some time-lapse painting in there and some cute animation with the cards. And I can't wait to see how Tigre is going to pull all that together.
Me too. Like, here's the raw assets. Here's me talking about this project with excitement. Edit it all out for whatever you need. Tigre's cutting little strips of paper.
Hooray, we have little strippies.
I'm just shuffling away.
For those of you who know us, it's going to be going in the healing bucket. So there are the pieces. I'm not seeing any other names in there.
Nope.
Would you like to also do your magical finger grabbing of it?
Yeah. Ah!
I had to. Too close.
It's Jason!
Oh, Jason got it!
What? Yay!
All right, so Jason, he's having tech troubles, but he is here. So, I am going to pull a card for Jason. Let's see what it says.
Jason identifies with koala medicine.
Yep.
Thanks, Phoenix. Something I like to do when pulling a card is I use my non-dominant hand.
He does, I don't.
When I do that, Lola likes to use her right hand. I just feel like it's a little more sensitive for me.
Speaking of screaming mountain goats, here it is. This is the 6 of air. And I already know a bit about what this medicine is. So you won, Jason. So this is your reading right now, live on the air.
You won!
So before I get into what the guidebook says, what I am feeling from this animal and what I feel from this animal so often is the idea that if you look backwards or down while you're climbing, you can fall and hurt yourself. And so it's not a time to review past mistakes or get tripped up by potential hazards that are in your path. It's time to put one foot in front of the other. Trust that your feet can carry you sure-footedly on the route that you've chosen and keep going forward. It's a time of forward motion and not spiraling back into old patterns or old fears or old stories. And that it's okay to want to be in a different place than you are right now. It's okay to want to rise up. It's okay to even fight your way to the top. Mountain goats are super territorial and they will headbutt their way to try and be king of the mountain or queen of the mountain. And that's okay. It's part of their natural willingness to, first of all, playfully claim their place in the world. They're very playful, even as their strength is demonstrated. So it's time to be playful. It's time to be determined. It is time to make some leaps and to not look down, because otherwise you're going to get yourself in trouble. Let me see. It feels resonant to one of the projects on his plate.
Like owning yourself, focus, empowerment.
Yes, all of those things.
Climbing.
Let me see what else might show up from the guidebook. Let me find out real quick.
Something hilarious that I noticed only when I was starting to do the stop motion photographs is that one of the suits in our test deck still had the hexagon instead of the pentagon. I was like, really? It's a good thing that's just a test deck. So the new ones, I've finished all the new ones, and they all have a watercolor. Because before I was just doing a solid color for the symbol. And I just kept feeling like it just didn't match or vibe with a beautiful artwork that is Tanya's. So I went through and manually realigned all the symbols so they're perfectly aligned and they were slightly off, and spent a good couple hours playing with that.
So here is a little more detail on what the mountain goat has to say, which is definitely along the lines of what I shared. And the suit of air is really about your thinking and about your willpower. So that you can clear your mind and focus where you need to go in order to create positive change in your life. So the 6 of air is kind of making its way through the suit. It's overcome some of the obstacles generally represented by the 5 of any of the tarot minor arcana suits, and it's like things are looking up, but there are still challenges ahead. So here's what Mountain Goat says. When things look tough and the terrain ahead is daunting, it's time to have faith in your abilities and take a leap like Mountain Goat. Mountain Goat is a teacher of looking forward in faith. If you look down or behind you on a steep mountainside, you may stumble or even fall. But if you keep your eyes focused on where you are going and slowly, surely move forward, your progress will be smoother. Mountain Goat's message is to aim high, to be unafraid of the magnitude of your vision. It may look like an impossible journey, but our dreams, no matter how big they seem, are often still too small. Even if we never reach our dreams, the process of working toward them is what matters most. We find our courage and learn our strength as we face challenges along the way. Mountain Goats strive to be at the top. In nature, it's a game of dominance, but as part of your spiritual journey, their medicine represents the courage it takes to keep going in spite of obstacles thrown your way. If Mountain Goat has bounced into your reading today, there's a message of encouragement for you. Even if the summit ahead is obscured by clouds, even if you feel trapped on a narrow ledge, even if you feel like you have nowhere to go from here, Mountain Goat reminds you that you do have what it takes to keep moving forward, even if it is inch by inch. Trust your ability to learn from your choices. Listen to the lessons of the past, but do not fixate on how things have unfolded for you before. Instead, keep your gaze ahead of you. This is a time for movement. Mountain Goat speaks. I was just going to make a mountain goat noise. Perfect. The end. No. What is one small action you can take right now that will help you move toward your vision? If your task feels too daunting, break it down into smaller, bite-sized chunks. Allocate 15 minutes to focus solely on 1 or 2 of these small actions and see how you feel after taking those tiny steps. Progress, no matter how little it seems to be, is a boost to your morale. Rise above your overwhelm and be willing to make an imperfect move. You will always benefit from taking action, even if it leads you down a surprising route. Nothing in life is truly a detour unless you refuse to learn from your mistakes. Invocation. Mountain Goat, help me trust my feet to carry me safely through this uncertain time. Help me remain focused on the path ahead and find the courage I need to get there. Yay! So, Jason,
awesome.
That's for you. Remain sure-footed, brother, and trust that it is okay to climb out, and you've got what it takes to rise above whatever challenges are currently in your world, and Lord knows we all have them. So I'm sure that card is not just for Jason, but definitely was pulled with him in mind and heart. So thank you for that. We would love to open up the comments to any questions you have about the deck, about the process, about intuition, about the Kickstarter, about courage, anything we're saying brings up for you, like, hey, I wonder what you guys would have to say about that. We'll just open it up for a few minutes to see if any questions come through.
Medicine
for one is medicine for all, Jessica says. Yeah, Adriana says it's super resonant.
What is that?
Is that a white flag, Jason?
Or is that a billy goat blowing air somewhere high up in the mountain Alps?
There's a goat emoticon happening.
It's so tiny I can barely see it.
Phoenix, are there going to be any single images of cards we can share on our page, etc.? Yes, so I have to share your idea from our conversation last night, Phoenix, for Tigre, because we tapped into animal medicine for her, and she was like, can you please give me something I can share with my community about my experience with this? So, yes, we will be making those.
I was thinking, Tanya, that we could do that little, card on its side, angled and styled, and make little squares of that. Are you cool with that?
I'm not. Graphics. I think I need a visual.
You remember the ones where I was showing the prototype and the card is sitting that?
Oh yeah.
Angle? Well, on the purple background or something. Sweet. I will do that.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Excellent. I'm great at describing things. This is why my art teacher would always be like, no, draw it. Don't talk. Stop talking. Just draw it.
Stop talking.
I'm like, oh, okay.
My art teacher was like, keep talking. You might not want to do the drawing thing. No, I'm just kidding.
What are you talking about? This lady's awesome artist.
I'm just kidding.
We would trade back and forth little foxes and tigres for art. We've stopped that pretty hardcore.
Get back to soap, Jess. Thank you so much for
Make
being
the world
with
an
us.
amazing, clean place.
Jessica works for
Jessica,
Dr. Bronner's.
yeah, she works for Dr. Bronner's. They're great people over there.
Awesomeness. Thanks for being here.
Do I have any questions? It's running for 30 days. The really important time is getting a lot of eyeballs and backers in the first 2 days, really. Because then if it's on fire and doing really well, then Kickstarter will promote it, which gets it in front of even more people. So that's a sweet, sweet part about that.
Yes.
And what else?
And the early bird pricing will be gone as soon as those sell out, and that is the lowest price that we will ever have it available for. So if you're like thinking about it, if you wait, you're going to be paying, which is a totally great price anyway, but it'll just be a little bit more. So if you want to save a bit.
Yeah, and if you want to get a couple for gifts, it's awesome to do that through the Kickstarter because it adds to it. If for some reason you only want to get one right now, you will be able to add additional books or decks and some other little cool things like temporary tattoos and stickers in the after part of the funding.
Yep.
Once the campaign ends.
Yep.
I'm stoked on that.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with us while we announced the T-minus 24 hours and counting now. So now we're 23 hours and some minutes until we push publish, launch on that Kickstarter, go live. There'll be a really fun video there on the page. Please.
Can I see the bear?
Yeah, there's a couple of bears in this deck. There's a polar bear. There is a brown bear.
And we have a video Tanya shared with us that I need to put into our promotional stuff for her painting of the brown. Is it the black bear that you sent me?
The black bear, yes.
It's really deep in here because I'm halfway through the deck and I haven't seen it yet.
They're all hiding.
Wow.
There's so many animals.
There are so many. What has been really fun, I was filming Lola doing some shuffling of the deck too.
I know, the card.
This is polar bear.
Polar bear.
You have it. So here's koala bear for Mr. Hasten and all the other koalas out there. Yeah, Tanya's the one with the Uber access.
There's the black bear. Gorgeous.
There you go. You get double time black bear. Double time black.
And you can see how the colors have been brightened up on the almost final version.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we actually, I got a little Photoshop happy.
Here's the polar bear.
There's polar bear.
And then there's also a brown bear.
I just really like the colors, so I had to be like,
No.
come on, color.
And
There's also a sloth, but it's not. Sloth is not technically a bear, but it's bearish.
It's a jungle bear.
Let me see if I can...
It's like the sun bear. Those card backs, I know. The card backs are so fun.
They're so fun.
Yeah, it's a black bear, Melissa. But you could pull a lot of brown bear medicine out of it too as well. I think that was it.
That might be it.
I don't remember. I've looked at these cards many a time.
Well,
late.
This was the grizzly or brown bear that I had done, but the composition was not ideal for the cards.
Yep.
It's so pretty. I like that one because that one's like the skunk.
So pretty.
That same kind of, and the swan.
It's like the swan.
Yeah. Such a gorgeous,
so cool.
gorgeous artist.
Thank you.
Card backs are all symmetrical after help from your amazing friend. And this is not even the final version. I put a blue streak down the middle of this black, the back of the top snake.
So there's some more.
Because it was sitting too flat for me. And so I had to go and add some blues, which you'll see in all the promotional graphics.
So nice. It feels like snakeskin. You know, snakes are like smooth and glossy feeling, and it's so nice.
It's fun to geek out on this printing stuff and everything.
It really is.
I really have
We've
enjoyed
had way
it.
too much fun.
And so we'll see. And who knows if we smash when we smash the crazy records, I would love to get, because I spent all the time positioning all these little pentagons to sit in the same spot. That I would love to have that spot be foil print on it too, to get some extra shine. And
there's no limit to the things that we can do to up the awesome factor even more.
Thanks, Jason.
There's probably even more that we'll end up doing beyond those stretch goals once we hit them. But those are the things that we wanted to promise. The rest is going to be happy surprises.
Smash. Yes. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. We'll let everyone else continue on with their day if there are no more questions for us.
Yep, and we'll go pull our all-dayer and all-nighter to get this thing published and ready.
We're mostly there.
I know.
I'm not pulling another all-nighter right now. I want to go to sleep.
Nice.
I want to sleep
High
tonight.
fives. Way to do it.
The other all-nighter was a little cuckoo.
High fives.
Thank you so much, Tanya, again, for putting yourself out there, for painting mapache and all the other animals that you're doing for your second Kickstarter.
Third?
That was your first or second, right?
Well, I've done 2 Kickstarters before, so this will be my third.
Yeah,
I did a children's book, and then my paintings just on their own, and now paintings in the tarot deck.
So
yeah,
awesome.
it's been a really scary journey to put all my stuff out there. Of like really stepping up and shining and trusting myself, but so glad I've been.
Thank goodness you
out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We're all better for it, for sure.
I tried my damnedest to get them to accept. I was doing some chocolate label design, and they're like, "Can you do the art?" I'm like, "I know an amazing artist who could totally use work, and
awesome.
She has awesome art, and like I'll do the package design." And they're like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "You don't know what you're talking about. Y'all missing out."
Yep.
So, enjoy.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in the Kickstarter. Cannot wait to get this thing out.
I know. I cannot wait to push live.
Mm-hmm. And then order the cards.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to end this broadcast now. See y'all later and soon. Bye.
Share the video.